Closer to home, chilling testimony in Schenectady County Court, where a grandmother is on trial, accused of beating her grandson to death. And today, children living in that home at the time of the alleged murder told the court what they heard and saw. Matt Markham is live outside the Schenectady County Courthouse tonight with the latest. Matt?
Yeah, Liz, this, to put it lightly, was a very difficult day for people inside the courtroom as they listened to testimony from 3 witnesses, just kids, describing what they saw Gloria Nelligan and what she's accused of doing, beating her own grandson with a back scratcher, and that's something the prosecution has called a weapon. Today, the court met the people whose frantic voices were heard on a 911 call from this Schenectady house. 3 of Gloria Nelligan's young daughters described the last days and hours, often through tears, of Shaheem Nelligan's life. The youngest, Monet Parson, had trouble describing the abuse her 8-year-old nephew Shaheem allegedly endured at Gloria Nelligan's hands. "Did you see your mom do anything with the back scratcher?" the prosecutor asked. "Will you tell us what you saw?" "No," said Parson. "I don't want to answer." Parson kept her hand over her face, speaking softly on the witness stand. Later, she was asked why she was crying in her room on Minder Street. Her answer, quote, "I didn't want to see Shaheem get hurt." Nelligan is accused of beating her grandson, injuring him so badly, prosecutors say, his heart stopped after stealing a pack of gum from a store near their home. The daughter said Shaheem was told to write essays as punishment. Prosecutors said Nelligan was dissatisfied with them. The night before the 8-year-old died, another daughter in the home was watching a movie and told the court she had to turn up the volume so she couldn't hear the beating in the house. When she walked past her mother to go to bed, Amelia Matrazo testified Gloria Nelligan, quote, wasn't stopping until she saw blood. The next morning, the oldest daughter in the house had heard a thud from Shaheem's room and told the court she discovered the boy laying on the floor. The whole side of him was purple. When she tried to help, she explained that Gloria Nelligan told her to, quote, leave him alone because he's looking for sympathy. Cross-examination, the defense attorney had tried to poke some holes in the statements made to police by these 3 young girls, asking them a little bit more about Shaheem Nelligan. One of the daughters said that he was trying to test his grandmother in the days leading up to his death and actually would bruise easily even from a mosquito bite. The defense here has been trying to argue also that Shaheem Nelligan would have episodes where he would just fall at random times in the house and also might have suffered from some kind of mental distress or mental illness. They also asked the daughters, and they said that that was indeed true, that if they cooperated with Child Protective Services during the investigation, they could all be kept together, leading someone to believe that perhaps their statements to police, which were a little bit different from some of the statements some of them had given in the courtroom, were done perhaps on purpose. Liz?
Just wondering, I mean, this is just such awful testimony to hear, yeah. Matt. What was the demeanor of the young people that testified? Were they angry? Confused? I mean, how did they present this? Matter of fact?
Angry, no, I don't think, Liz, but distressed, absolutely. There was one point that the youngest girl, she's 11 years old, so she was 10 at the time back in February when Shaheem Nelligan had died. When she was starting to answer some of the questions, she said that she didn't know the answers to them. The judge then got close to her, looked her directly in the eye and said, you know, you have to answer whatever you know. And then she started to become a little bit more forthcoming with the information that she did have, what she could describe from being in that house. But there was a time early this afternoon where the court did have to take a recess because she was crying just too badly. And people in the courtroom who knew this family were crying as well, that there really was just too much emotion to continue, at least at that time. So the young girl was able to collect herself and continue. But this has been hard on a lot of people, Liz.
Matt Markham, thank you very much. Jerry.
The Republican primary race for Saratoga County Sheriff is just about over.